Have you ever noticed something strange? Some people wake up every morning before sunrise, fight traffic, answer emails, work overtime, come home exhausted, and after 20 or 30 years, they're still broke. Meanwhile, someone else works less, travels more, sleeps peacefully, owns businesses, has money arriving while they're on vacation. And the painful part? They are not always smarter. They simply understand one word: leverage. The world taught you to work hard. It rarely teaches you how to make hard work unnecessary. Because a person who understands leverage is difficult to control. Machiavelli understood something long before banks, corporations, and billionaires existed. Power is never about effort. Power is about multiplication. The king never carried stones to build the castle. Others did, yet the castle belonged to him. If you want to escape working forever, watch this video until the very end, because today we're exposing the invisible machine the wealthy quietly use. A machine that allows 1 hour of work to produce what takes another person an entire month. Most people will never understand this, and that's exactly why they'll remain trapped. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The lie you were raised to believe from childhood. You were rewarded for effort. Study harder, work harder, stay later, do more, never complain, keep grinding. Society praises the hardest worker, but wealth rarely belongs to the hardest worker. Look around. Construction workers lift thousands of pounds every day. Farm workers spend entire days under the burning sun. Factory workers repeat the same motion for 12 hours. Many of them work harder than CEOs, yet they rarely become wealthy. Why? Because effort and wealth are not the same thing. That's the first illusion. Imagine two men. The first carries 1 bucket of water every trip. The second builds a pipeline. For 1 month, the first man looks stronger. He's sweating, he's moving. Everyone admires his work ethic. The second man appears lazy. He's digging, planning, measuring, building. People laugh at him. But one day, the pipeline is finished. Now, while the first man still carries buckets, the second simply opens a valve. Water flows endlessly. One man sells hours, the other owns systems. This is leverage.
And almost nobody teaches it, because if everyone understood leverage, entire industries would collapse. Companies need employees, banks need borrowers, governments need taxpayers.
The system survives when people trade time for money forever. Machiavelli would smile at this. He knew power belongs to those who control systems, not those trapped inside them. The wealthy position. The poor chase opportunities. The wealthy build machines that create opportunities. You were taught to become valuable. They were taught to own value. That tiny difference changes entire lives. Chapter 2. Time is the only currency you can never replace. Money returns. Lost businesses return. Relationships can return.
Even reputations can recover. But time never returns. Every hour you sell disappears forever. Think carefully. If someone pays you $20 for an hour, they aren't buying your labor.
They're buying a piece of your life. A piece you'll never get back. This is why wealthy people obsess over leverage. Not because they're lazy. Because they understand time is infinitely more valuable than money. Money can be printed, time cannot. The average person thinks, I need more money. The wealthy think, I need fewer hours attached to that money. Completely different mindset. One creates survival, the other creates freedom. Imagine earning $1,000. You could work 50 hours. Or build something once that earns it repeatedly. One path creates exhaustion. The other creates ownership. The tragedy is, most people never question the exchange. They proudly sell their lives, one paycheck at a time, then wonder why retirement always feels impossible. Every promotion gives slightly more money, but demands even more time. It's a sophisticated prison, decorated with benefits, wrapped in monthly salaries, hidden behind job titles, and because everyone around them accepts it, they believe it's normal. Machiavelli warned that people often mistake chains for security. The safest prison
is the one whose walls feel comfortable.
Ask yourself honestly,
If your income stopped tomorrow,
how long could you survive? If the answer frightens you, you don't own money. Money owns you. And that's exactly where leverage begins. Not with investing, not with business, but with understanding that every hour should eventually create something that continues working after you're finished. The wealthy don't just earn. They plant, they build, they multiply. And that changes everything. Chapter 3. The 4 invisible forms of leverage. Most people think leverage means borrowing money. That's only one form. Real leverage is much deeper. There are 4 invisible forces that separate ordinary lives from extraordinary wealth. The first, money. Money can hire people, buy assets, purchase time, expand opportunities. The second,
people. One person can only do so much. 10 skilled people working toward one vision multiply for results. The greatest kings understood this. Generals never fought every battle personally.
They commanded armies. Leadership itself is leverage. The third, technology. One video can reach millions. One software program can serve customers while its creator sleeps. One automated system can replace hundreds of manual tasks. Technology works without asking for overtime. The fourth, knowledge. This is the most overlooked. The right idea, applied once,
can change every financial decision for the rest of your life. Knowledge compounds. Ignorance compounds too. One creates wealth. The other creates expensive mistakes. Notice something remarkable. Every billionaire combines these four forms: money, people, technology, knowledge. The average person relies almost entirely on one thing: personal effort. That's why progress feels painfully slow. If you're only using your own hands, you're competing against millions doing exactly the same thing. Leverage isn't cheating, it's evolution. The wheel replaced carrying.
The tractor replaced digging. The computer replaced endless paperwork. The internet replaced physical distance. Every breakthrough in civilization came from leverage. Yet most people still believe success should feel exhausting. Why? Because suffering looks respectable, results look suspicious. If someone becomes wealthy quickly, people assume luck. They rarely ask, what system did they build? That question changes lives, because wealth isn't usually hiding behind harder work. It's hiding behind better leverage, and once you see it, you'll never look at money the same way again. Chapter 4. Build assets, not just income. Here's the mistake that keeps millions trapped for decades. They celebrate income, but ignore assets. Income pays today's bills. Assets pay tomorrow's freedom. There's a massive difference. If you stop working and your income disappears, you don't have wealth, you have a job. True wealth begins the day your assets start working harder than you do. Think like Machiavelli for a moment. A ruler never relied on winning one battle. He built a kingdom that continued producing taxes, food, soldiers, and influence long after the battle ended. He created systems. That is exactly how real wealth is built. Every dollar you earn should eventually become a worker. Instead of spending every raise, ask yourself, can this money buy something that will keep paying me? The wealthy don't see money as something to consume. They see it as an employee. One employee becomes 5, 5 become 50, 50 become hundreds. This is how fortunes quietly grow, while everyone else believes they were created overnight. Compounding isn't exciting. It isn't flashy. But it is one of the most powerful forms of leverage in existence. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in 1 year and underestimate what consistent investing, building, and reinvesting can accomplish in 10. The tree that gives the most fruit wasn't planted yesterday. It was planted years ago by someone willing to wait. Patience is leverage, discipline is leverage, consistency is leverage. Every decision either buys your future freedom or sells another piece of it. That's why the wealthy ask a different question before spending money. Not, can I afford this, but what am I giving up if I buy this? Because every unnecessary purchase delays the moment when your assets become greater than your expenses. The goal isn't to look rich. The goal is to become impossible to control. A person who depends on no paycheck can negotiate without fear. A person with multiple streams of income can walk away from bad opportunities. A person whose assets produce cash flow owns something more valuable than money. They own choices. And choice is the highest form of freedom. Remember this. The poor trade time for money. The middle class trades money for things. The wealthy trade money for assets that create more money. That single shift in thinking changes everything. Machiavelli understood that lasting power is never built on constant effort alone. It is built on structures that continue producing results even when the creator is absent. Build those structures. Use leverage wisely. Let your money work while you sleep. Because the ultimate goal isn't simply to become rich. It's to reach the point where your time belongs to you again. And once you own your time, you own the one thing no amount of money can ever buy back.